In part 1 of this tutorial, we explored the best way to remove solitary flyaway hairs from a blurred background. If you haven't seen this tutorial yet, you can click the link below to get to it. This technique, using the dust and scratches filter, works very well and maintains the integrity of the background as you remove solitary hairs. But it breaks down as you encounter larger groups of flyaway hairs, and that's because the filter can't find a clean area of background when trying to blur these out. You end up with foggy patches instead of a nice clean background. If I disable the mask in the blurred layer, we can see the contamination of the background where the groups of flyaway hairs were. Since it seems we can't get rid of these wild groups of hairs, perhaps we can tame them down. I'll enable the mask so we can see our progress so far, and then using Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E, Command-Shift-Option-E on a Mac, I'll create a stamp layer of the work we've done up to this point, and we'll work from there. I'll duplicate the stamp layer by pressing Ctrl-J, Command-J on a Mac, and we'll then go to the Filter menu and choose Liquify. The first thing we need to do is protect the face and the main body of hair using the Freeze Mask tool. To make things easier, check the Show Mask checkbox. This will show us the area we're protecting. Next, we simply brush in the area we're going to protect. To avoid any confusion, I'll just brush in everything except the background. Once we're done doing that, I'll uncheck the Show Mask checkbox so we can see the whole image again. Now we can start working on the image. We're going to brush over the problem areas using the Push Left tool. Let's see how this tool works. If I brush down from the top, the areas under the brush will be pushed to the right. If I brush from the bottom up, the area below the brush will be pushed to the left. And finally, if I brush from the right to the left, the area under the brush will be pushed down. Because we have frozen parts of the image, this will look more like squeezing than a shift in position. So I'll brush down here to deal with this group of flyaway hairs. I'll typically brush in broad strokes to begin with, and then make smaller brush strokes to make further adjustments. Then I'll brush up to de-emphasize the flyaway hair here on the right side. And finally, I'll bring the size of the tool down and brush from right to left to tame the hair here at the top of the head. When satisfied with the results, we'll click OK to leave the filter. So here's the before and after. The wild hair has been tamed down, and we end up with a natural looking result. But wait a second, let's take a closer look at the background. The texture of it has shifted along with the hair, and it doesn't look as good as it could. We'll use the same procedure as in part 1 of this tutorial to get things back to normal. Press Ctrl-J, Command-J on a Mac, to duplicate the last layer. Then go to Filter, Noise, and choose Dust and Scratches. Just like before, set the threshold to 0 and set the radius to 18 pixels. Next, go to Filter, Noise, and choose Add Noise. Ensure the Gaussian radio button is checked and that the monochromatic checkbox is checked. Set the amount as before. I had the value at 3.4% and press OK. Create a black mask by holding the Alt key, Option on a Mac, and clicking on the Add a Layer Mask icon. Using a soft white brush, brush out the troubled area of the background to put things back to normal. In the next part of this tutorial, we'll deal with stray flyaway hairs within the body of the hair. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. To learn more about Valley Photo Workshops, I hope you'll visit the site, valleyphotoworkshops.com. Thanks for watching.